Good afternoon, guys. My name is Davis Allen, and this is my video presentation outlining what I'm going to be writing my final paper on. So my subject is the Tacoma Narrows Bridge collapse. This happened in the 1940s. Tacoma Narrows is extremely well known. It was the third largest suspension bridge at the time, and the collapse is kind of a milestone for the whole engineering community because there's video footage of this bridge literally just oscillating by about like 28 feet, I believe was the exact amount. And this all the concrete and steel literally just looked like rubber. It was pretty intense. So just some background about the bridge. So after it was completed, Leon Mosieff, the out-of-state engineer consultant who designed the bridge, and he was helping consulting the situation, and a lot of people had noticed that there was vertical oscillations in the bridge as they would go over it, and it became kind of almost like a tourist attraction. And this was caused by the wind, and people would go over it just to kind of get a rush from it. And so they had many different engineers consult the situation and look at the bridge, and they deemed it as safe, and they didn't think it would be an issue. However, as the months went on, this bridge continued to oscillate, and people became more and more alarmed, and it became called Galloping Gertie, which it got its name because it galloped up and down, like I said. And so they started studying it, and they built a model and found out that the wind was impacting it. And a huge factor in this case study is mechanical resonance, which basically states that every single object or structure has its own natural frequency. And basically elements like wind or whatever seismic activity can cause that building to become in its natural frequency. So the seismic waves or the forces of the wind can cause that building to get in its natural frequency, and it'll oscillate way more than it normally would if those wind forces or seismic forces were causing it to hit a different frequency other than its natural one. So ultimately that's what led to this collapse, is the mechanical resonance made this bridge oscillate dramatically. So some key takeaways is that during the time period, mechanical resonance was a gray area, and it really hadn't been studied a whole lot. So no single entity was blamed for the collapse because no one really knew a whole lot about it, and it really advanced the engineering community as a whole. It was kind of seen as like a positive thing. No one died besides a dog. And then secondly, another good takeaway is that the bridge collapse could have been prevented. The studies that they were conducting, they found that if they had wind deflectors that made the wind pass over or under it, would not get the bridge to enter its natural frequency and cause it to fluctuate so much. So if they had a little bit more time, those safety measures could have been installed and prevented the collapse. But the wind reached a high point, and they weren't able to install those right away. So I hope you guys learned a little bit about the bridge collapse, and I look forward to learning more about it myself and writing a paper on it. Thanks.